Hello, everybody, and welcome to Race Department's Daytona 250 here at RaceDepartment.com. My name is Simon Smith, and alongside me, as cameraman and commentator extraordinaire, he has all of the sausage fingers going at once. It's Roy Magnus. How are you doing
Hello.
today, Roy?
Ooh. Hello.
So the tension builds. Lap 92 being completed, 7 laps to go. Will we make it home in time? Will we stay clean? Will Simon get a Chinese that will absolutely ruin him? All questions about to be answered in the next 7 minutes and 10 seconds. And will Roy's brain be able to cope with all of the button presses that he's so expertly done over the last 2 hours and 10 minutes? Safety car's in. Let's get the show on the road. Green flags out and a racing. Meervold to the inside. Larson's got a great run actually on the outside. This could be interesting to see how they go because it's really gone line. The outside line is really well lined up. So this is bump drafting in 2 unison rows. Peach though has got it wrong and I think he's going off. No, he's kept it going. No, he's come back on again and smacked Rocket and Franscali. I don't know if that's drawn to yellow. No, it's not. We're staying green. We're staying green. Everyone's kept going. Thank God for that. Dahlgren's gone through the pit lane. Are we still green? Yellow? No, we're still green. We're still green. Meervold leads the way. Larson then into second. Peterson third. LaRue's fourth. Schwarzberg 5. Berlage 6. That's left 6 cars in it if we're staying green for the rest of this race through. Larson immediately onto the back of Meervold. Bump drafting the green Urge car all the way through. LaRue's getting pushed out wide by Peterson in the battle for third for fourth. Then it's the red car of Schmalzberger, the orange car of Berlage. These 6 looking good for the win currently at the moment. All other cars have been wiped off this lead sextet as they come around the back of turns 1 and 2 down the back straight, fanning out. They need to watch their lane discipline because this is where, look at the way how Ollie Marius Meervold has been swamped by the upper opposition as he goes from first to sixth in one fell swoop. This is the power of drafting, bump drafting, and getting your positioning absolutely perfect. Lap 94 of 100 completed. Meervold first to sixth in one fell swoop. That leaves Yves Larousse up into the lead ahead of Jan Larson. These were the 2 that were bump drafting and working together in practice. And it made me think, how are they going to play out tactically? We've not been able to see it all race long. And look, they've created half a second advantage over Harmut Schwarzberger because he's busy battling with Peterson, Berlage and Meervold. They aren't working together. This is about choosing your companions, working together, going with each other, and now they're coming back together. A real accordion effect as they go down this back straight. Lap 95 of 100 running. This is the racing we were wanting to see. Give us more of this, please, guys, as they run into the back straight. Peterson taking a little peek out. That's going to leave him vulnerable to Leslie Berlage, who's going to sweep down the inside for 4th position. Indeed, he does get it. Yves Larousse sticking to the inside. You're going to go around the long way, my son. So he says to Jan Larson, clearing lap 96. Behind Peach, Franscali, Rocket and Dahlgren are all on their own, so they can't really cause many issues unless they bin it themselves. Meervold starts to bump draft Ingemar Peterson. They've gone for a break on the outside, trying to push the cars round. What can they do? Is it making a difference? Yes, it is. And look, Leslie Berlage is thinking, do you know what? I quite fancy switching my allegiance to join up the outside line as they go bombing down the back straight on lap 96 of 100. In fact, Leslie Berlage, spoilt for choice, not quite sure which way he wants to go and which line he wants to take. Schwarzberger now takes the inside line. 3 powering that train to keep the inside running as Ingemar Peterson briefly comes into the lead, but not as they cross the line. That looked like Yves Larousse just briefly for a second. This is going to be absolutely tighter than a otter's pocket as they go round turns 1 and 2. Peterson looking very leery as Meervold starts to push him. It's that turn 1 has been looking leery in practice all day long, but they're having to risk it for this bump draft down the back straight. This is excellent racing between the sextet going 3 abreast, that now means that one powertrain is not necessarily being pushed harder than the other. So it's about skill. And look, the bottom line's starting to fall apart. LaRousse there being pushed out slightly by Larson. Schwarzberger switches allegiance again to make it a 4-way push for the front line. Lap 97 completed, now on to lap 98. Ooh, it's looking toasty and close, and this could well be done within the time limit, amazingly. As look, Ingemar Peterson switches down to the bottom line, Meervold, that cuts off Yves Larousse, who's now going to think, well, where do I go now? To the outside lane, or is he going to start pushing his way through on the bottom line? Well, this is high-speed chess, 300 kilometers per hour, no inches or quarters given. Jan Larson is going it alone on the outside. Yves Larousse was thinking of it. That's pushed Larson well out wide, allowing Harmut to squeak through into 4th position. Berlage up into 5th. That really wrong-footed Jan Larson as we come up to the 2 to go. And now look. Berlage runs out wide. It's not safe to go wide. No one's going with you. When you go out wide, everyone's too busy hugging the inside. This could be a who's going to make a last-minute lunge and hope that someone goes with them. There is no kind of TeamSpeak set up here or Discord for everyone to kind of live spotter themselves. They're having to think of who's my friend, who's going tactically, who can do what as they go down this back straight. And again, Leslie Berlage hung out to dry all on his own on the outside line. The other 5 are working just as a small missile, punching the hole through the air as they work their way through. Ingemar Peterson being pushed away. The Speedy Swede comes around to take the green and white checkered with 1 to go. Lap 100 it is then. Ingemar Peterson, Ole Marius Meervold, Yves Larousse, Harmut Schwarzberger, Jan Larson or Leslie Berlage. Which of these 6 are going to take it? Peterson hugging the inside line, desperately trying to make sure that he's covered every move covered. Will Meervold go immediately to the inside and try and get under the apron? There's no room. He can't do it. And the outside pack is not pushing nearly as fast enough. Or is it now? Larson and Schwarzberger are pushing Yves Larousse. He's got ahead of Meervold just about, but I don't think he's got enough. Larson and Berlage switch allegiance, and that's going to push Ingemar Peterson to the line. Look at Berlage going for the inside. This is going to be very close, but I think Ingemar Peterson is going to take the victory. Indeed he does. Just about, with 2 hours, 29 minutes and 42 seconds. And yet, explode across the line, Ingemar Peterson. You have done it. The Speedy Swede has won the Race Department Daytona 250. Ole Marius Meervold comes home second, 59 thousandths of a second behind. Leslie Berlage third. Jan Larson grabs 4th, just 4 thousandths of a second between them. Jan Larson taking the fastest lap in the process, with Yves Larousse down to 5th. Harmut Schwarzberger ends up 6th. A quarter of a second covering the top 6. That's what I call close racing. Colin Peach ends up in 7th, 21 seconds off the pace, with Edward Rocket 8th, Barnabas Franscali 9th, and 1 lap down in 10th, Magnus Dahlgren. Your retirements were Steve Legales, Ken Scott, Albert Bergiato, and Rick Smith. Or Rich Smith, sorry. Well, we had to wait for it, but that was crazy.
What a finish. Wow. Oh, man.
Oh.
I'm struggling to compute this.
We finally pushed Roy over the edge. Well done to Ingemar Peterson for taking that victory. Meervold doing well for the second. Berlage third. And again, it was some of the drivers, in the end it turned out to be quite roulette-y, but it was some of those drivers who we didn't really see Meervold or Berlage necessarily, or Schwarzberger, involved in many of those yellows. They were the drivers that largely held themselves back, stayed towards the rearer end of the field until that last kind of third of the race. Ingemar Peterson was yo-yoing up and down all day, but again was there when it counted. And I think the shock for me were that Jan Larson and Yves Larousse, they were working so close together throughout all of that, and then ended up being wrong-footed, because I think it really showed that those two were working in unison, so the other four started to gang up against them. So it's that kind of high-speed tactics that make you go, I've got to choose my friends. Fascinating stuff. Lots of donuts being had on the home straight, and I think that absolutely rounds us off here at the Race Department Daytona 250 Club Race. Thank you to Roy Magnus being camera extraordinaire, making all of the things go tickety tickety tick in the background so that it can bring all of the screens and action to you. Cameramen are grossly underrated in sim racing and deserve all of the love and attention that they get. Thank you also to Ole Marius Meervold, who put together some of the graphics that are running around in the background and helping us get going with the race direction. My name's Simon Smith. You have a great evening and enjoy the Daytona 500 if you're kicking around for a sim racing to real racing double. Take care.